Give me a minute and let's do some math. Okay, boys and girls, get out your pens and papers and let's do some math, shall we? Now, what you're looking at here, in this episode of Rush on Fire, we're going to do some math regarding the refining capacity losses of the last 24 hours, as the Ukrainians have launched the largest drone strikes in history of this conflict against Russia, and they've had a real impact. What you're looking at there is the LUKOIL refining processing plant in North Sea, which is about 275 miles east of Moscow. And that was hit yesterday. Now that means that it's 1,000 kilometers from Ukraine, but it was hit, and it was hit badly. The main cracking unit was hit. That's a problem. According to estimates, production there will be cut by 50%. And this plant processes about 6% of all of the refined oil products of the Russian Federation. That's a loss of 3% overall for the country in this one hit. Processing about 340,000 barrels a day. If we cut that number in half, that's about 170,000 barrels a day. Now, on top of that, we have the Ryazan plant being hit. That's the fourth largest plant in Russia, and it processes about 340,000 barrels a day as well. So you add those two numbers together because the Ryazan plant is offline. That was hit really spectacularly. And then we've got Oriel. Now, Oriel was hit yesterday, and I can't find good numbers for that, for the production capacity there. So let's assume that it's a smaller plant and it only processes, say, 150,000 barrels a day. That would put it on the lowest end of the 22 refineries in Russia. And then there's the Rosneft plant, which is still offline. That was processing 240,000 barrels a day. And that was struck on January 25th. Then on February 3rd, we had the Vulgograd plant hit, which processes 314,000 barrels of oil a day into refined oil products. Still offline. Now you take those five numbers, 340, 240, 314, 170, and 150, and you put them all together. That's 1,214,000 barrels of oil that Russia can no longer process into refined oil products every day. Over 1 million barrels of oil that can't be made into gasoline. What are they going to do? They got no place to put it. They don't have any spare refining capacity to pump it through someplace else. It's going to be a problem. It's a good thing that the Russians stopped selling gas to everybody else, huh? It's a good thing they stopped selling diesel. They're going to need it because they are not going to be able to produce like they have been. So they're going to be out revenue. They're going to be short on product, not just, internally for the country because they're not exporting it. And they're probably going to have to cap some wells because they don't have any place to store the excess crude oil. And that's to the tune of 1.2 million barrels of oil a day. And it looks to me, with 40 drones yesterday and 70 today, it looks to me like Kyiv is just getting started. Just getting started. So, boys and girls, thank you so much for doing the math with me. And I look forward to the next episode of Russia on Fire.